let's talk future value of investments and how we can kind of figure this using an Excel formula. So first, when you are investing in your future, generally you make periodic deposits. So whether that's monthly or annually, I would say generally we make them monthly. It's part of your paycheck, that kind of thing, but it can vary. Interest rate, we usually are given an APR, right? The annual percentage rate. If your periodic deposits are monthly, you're going to want to take that APR and divide by 12. Like, don't just think very much like credit cards, mortgages, all very similar. And then we also need the time of investment. How long are you letting that money grow before you start taking money out to, live on? So usually I would say time is talked about in years. So if we are using a formula in Excel to kind of figure out the future value of our investment, first of all, you're going to see that it's FV because it stands for future value. How much is our investment going to be worth in 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, however many years? So we're going to start with our periodic interest rate. So if we talk about, let's just say it's monthly because that's probably the most common. We would take the APR and divide by 12 because we need it to be a monthly rate. Then the number of deposits. Well, if you have monthly, there are 12 months in a year times the number of years, because that's how many deposits will be made. And then minus, this is going to be the dollar amount of how much is deposited every month. You can't just do a lump sum here because this is like compound interest. Every month you put money in, it grows your balance a little bit so you earn more interest. This is why the earlier you start investing, the more interest you're going to earn because you have more money to earn more interest. All right, let's jump in. Celeste is investing in an account at 2.99% for 40 years, making $150 monthly deposits. Her company matches 50% of her deposit. So this is common for a lot of companies that they'll do some kind of match, a 6% match. 50% is a little high, but just for our figure, that's what it is. So if we think about if Celeste is doing 150 and the company is doing 50% of 150, that's half, right? So the company is depositing 75. So the total deposit each month is Celeste plus the company, which is 225. So Celeste would type into Excel equals FV, the periodic interest rate, 0.0299 divided by 12, because interest is given as an APR, 12 months in a year times 40 years in this investment, minus 225, because that 225 is the total deposit. All right, so when you type that into Excel, Excel will spit back at you $207,868.17. So in 40 years, that is how much will be in Celeste's account. How much more is in Celeste's account than what she invested? Okay, so the account total, again, is $207,868.17. Well, how much did she invest? So let's remember, she was investing $150 per month times 12 months in 1 year times 40 years in the investment. So 150 times 12 times 40 is 72,000. So over 40 years, Celeste invested $72,000. So the difference, if we subtract 72,000, we get a difference of $135,868.17. So this is money that is Celeste now that she did not invest. So it's part company, right? Because her company invested a little bit and the rest is interest. So that all kind of goes together to make this up. Now, what if Celeste increased her monthly contribution to $200? How much then would the company contribute? Well, if they're still doing 50%, half of 200 would be 100. So that means then the total contribution would be 300. 200 from Celeste, 100 from the company. So in Excel, again, we would go future value. We still have the same interest rate, 2.99% divided by 2, or divided by 12, excuse me. 12 times, we're still talking 40 years, and then minus 300. If you type that into Excel, you have $277,157.56. So we're talking about an increase of roughly $70,000 if she gives an extra $50 a month. Now, $50 a month is a lot of money, but if she can swing it, she's going to have an extra $70,000 after 40 years. So what are the three parts that make up Celeste's retirement account? Well, we know that Celeste is investing. We know that the company is investing, and we know that there is the interest. So let's look at that last option there, where Celeste is putting in $200 a month for 12 months in the year for 40 years. So Celeste is, in this second example, is contributing $96,000. Now, we know the company is doing half of that. So we could go 100 times 12 times 40, or we could just take half of 96,000. Either way, the company contributes 48,000. So the total contributions, if I add those together, I get 144,000. That's the total contributions. That's how much people are putting in this account. So to find the interest, we would say, well, if the final amount is $277,157.56, and 144,000 of that is contributions, then the rest is interest. So in this particular case, in Celeste's account after 40 years will be $133,157.56 in interest. So she's earning way more than what she put in interest, and almost the same amount, not quite, but almost of total contributions. So really earning a lot of interest over time. So if you're thinking about investing, the earlier you can start, and it doesn't matter how much you put in, earlier you can start, the better, because that money is just going to keep gaining interest over time.